So it's the next day and it appears that most of the liquid has been held. If I'm a little critical, there's a little bit less in those two than them, but it's mostly there. I'm going to leave it a little bit longer because I have no time to work on them, and we'll see what it's like in another few hours or another day or so. Okay, so this is 24 hours, 36 hours later, and we are losing some liquid, particularly in these two, but it's nothing dreadful. You can see some of it coming out from the sides there. How's it looking underneath? Yeah, nothing awful. Kind of what I expected. So I'm going to try and remove the cylinder bores. I'm going to try and give it a gentle whack somewhere around here. I'm going to try not to hit the fins because I don't want to snap them. Bit of a piece of wood here somewhere. He's a bit stubborn, isn't he? That sounds promising. That made a different note of thud. Okay, so it sounds like we're stuck like shit to a blanket. Okay, let's try a bit of heat. Struggling. Big guns. You sometimes wonder if you've done something wrong. It ain't moving. Oh, it's coming up. Nice. Good. Just takes a bit of brute force sometimes. Right. It's very concerned in the manual about your chain, your timing chain falling into the engine. I don't think it really makes a difference at this stage, to be perfectly honest. That's weird. Seems to be stuck on these two studs. Back two studs are fine. It's these two centre ones are just giving me a little bit of trouble. Not sure why. Maybe crud and rust around them. So clean it up a little bit. That one again seems okay. Just this one. There it comes. That's a pain in the ass. Anyhow. Loads of dust, debris and shit going in the engine. But I think that's the least of my problems. Okie dokie, let's have a look. This is the piston I want to look at, so let's give it a turn. There's my spanner. I'm just going to move you up. Okay, let's have a look at where we are and what's going on. Hopefully you can see me there. So we've got the head off. We've got the bores off. Next time I would definitely clean the engine before I started, because all the crud has fallen into some of the cavities. That said, a lot of it was off rust off these bolts, so I just struggled to stop them falling in anyway. But more importantly, let's have a look at what's going on. So we've got the bores off. We've got this massive gouge. You know, that feels several millimeters deep on both sides. And the reason for that, these piston rings are moving around quite nicely. The pistons look nice. There's no marks. Same with the bores. Number one cylinder, exactly the same. But look at number 2. That is wedged. So, let's think about what we're going to do here. As I've said before, I'm not going to spend a fortune on this bike. I don't think it's worth the money. I'm going to have to do something with the cylinder bore. I'm hoping I can take these sleeves out. I think I can, but I don't know how to, so I'm going to have to figure that one out. I'm going to cost up one of those. It's going to have at least one piston and obviously piston rings. I'm going to also take out the valves and check they're okay, because if I got to spend a fortune on new valves, new pistons, new bore, it's going to need a gasket kit. So there's a number of things going on here that I've got to cost out before I dive into it. So I'm going to now take the pistons off anyway, just to have a look. Okay, so I'm going to try and get this circlip out with the pliers. That's a little tricky. It does say to stuff around the area with some rags to stop any loose circlips falling into the engine. I think that might be a good idea actually. Okay, so hopefully that will stop anything falling in. If you can't get it out with the pliers, apparently it's okay to use a screwdriver. Problem is I can't see anything. There she blows. Good. That should get it out. There we go. Okay, one off. I'll take them all off and then we'll have a look at it. So all the pistons are now out, and that was a right ball ache. The first one came out really easily, as I showed on the video. I didn't bother videoing the other ones, and they were really, really difficult to get out, up to the point that I thought I was doing something wrong. Number 2 was understandably difficult to take out because of its damage, and I'll show you the video of that in a second. By the way, this is not a paid promotion by Guinness, but if you want to send me some supplies, that'd be nice. So what next? I'll show you the pistons as they came out. I'm going to get a valve compressor and take the valves out, so I'm going to calculate how much this is going to cost. I'm probably going to take the entire engine apart because there's a lot of debris fell in there. What's here? There's a bit of piston ring that fell off, and no doubt there's bits of everything have fallen in there. When I was taking number 2 piston off, there was only one circlip in it holding the piston, or holding the gudgeon pin in. Now I don't know if that came out after the damage or whether it came out and caused the damage. I'll show you the piston in just a second. In the meantime, more Guinness, I say. So number one, as I showed you, came out really easily, and the gudgeon pin moves out in and out quite easily. We'll come back to number two. 3 was difficult. I had to hammer it out, and so was 4, and they struggle to go back in. The pistons themselves, I haven't really had a proper look at these, but I haven't cleaned them up or anything, but they look fine. The bores look fine. I've just marked them up with their numbers. I think these are reusable, personally. They look good. This one, on the other hand, I'll take some close-up photos if I can, but I'll try to get you in to have a look at this. All the pistons are jammed, wedged. I don't know what's been going on there. Let's have a look. Okay, so I don't know what's been going on here. If we take a comparison of the pistons, this one's got a nice edge to it, and this one is absolutely mashed. Now I'm hoping I can re-sleeve the cylinder bore. I'll have to look into it. It's a bit sort of in depth for a Haynes manual. But I'm sure I can take one of the liners out. That said, if I can't, I've seen one online used for 120 quid. So do I bother, or do I just buy that one? If that is the total cost and not much more, I'll probably go for that, but I don't want to be spending an absolute fortune on this. There we are. Let's have a look at this piston a little bit more. So that is absolutely mashed there. Look at the state on that. Look at the comparison of that. Look at the edge of that and that. I'm surprised it was actually running and didn't just sort of smash itself to pieces. So I'm not sure what the cause of that is. So this is one of the circlips I took out from the other side, and I had to bend and break and pull that to get it out. There wasn't one on, which way is it? So that came out of that side. There wasn't one there. I'll try to take some better close-up photos with my phone. But that is mullered. I've also want to look at, I don't know if somebody out there can answer the question, how much play we can get here with these. So I'm trying to move them side to side. I don't know if you can hear or see that. That's moving side to side a little. So is that one. That one's okay. This one's a little tighter. Maybe if I rotate it, it might be less. I've just lost the chain. Bear with me a second. Just put you there. They seem very concerned in the manual about you losing the chain down in the engine, but I think at the moment that is the least of my problems. Just going to rotate that a bit more. Bring that to the top. So that one, yeah, there's a little bit of movement. I think whatever happens, if I do continue with this engine, I think I'm going to have to split the block and clean everything up. I think a lot of debris has fallen in there, and of course you're going to have a bit of debris off the damaged piston. So I think we're going to call that a day on this video. I'm going to just look into some costings and see what we're going to do next. In the meantime, subscribe to the channel and give us a thumbs up.